This is Insane Shane McKANE. Everything you're going to hear in this episode is true. Sharing is scaring. So if you are under the influence of any kind of mind-altering drug, I would recommend that you do not listen to this podcast because the mixing of drugs is bad. And I am the drug.
Welcome back to Mostly Ghostly, new episode. We have a very, 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 very special guest with us this evening to talk about all things ghostly and crazy. And insane, perhaps, would be a good word to use for our guest.
Thank you.
Yes. With no further, further, what's that? I do, yeah. I would like to present everybody the King of Country Bling.
Boom! In the fucking house. You know, it's funny because I just, as I even said the word adieu.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I was gonna say adieu, but then in my head I was like, that's not the right word.
You could have said I don't.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for calling me special because, as it turns out, the only time that I truly have been called special was by the person I love most dearly, which was my mother. And I can tell you that I remember it like it was yesterday because it shaped my life. It was a turning point. It was a game changer. It was a life changer. I was in my high chair. I didn't want to eat the vegetables, and I started bobbing my head back. And apparently I went all the way back. My head hit the floor. I came up. I was reborn. I was drooling. And my mom said, "You're special." Now, I know I was drooling when it happened, but I still took it as a compliment, and it's made me the fucking wigger I am today, you know? Thank you.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I just want to say thanks for saying that. But, now, and also, me and you go way back, so I'm happy to be on this show. I champion anything you do, brother, and I will tell you, I've had some weird things happen to me in my life. For starters, I mean, I can tell you this. The first thing I will say to preface...
Well, real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Insane Shane McKANE.
In the house. Or you can call me, a.k.a., the Great White Dope, the Heavyweight Chump, the Cow-Tipping Cracker, the Big Swinging Hick, the Vanilla Gorilla, the Blue Collar Scholar, the Bombing Shaman, the Fast Food Philosopher, the Minister of Sinister, here and mostly fucking ghostly. Boom.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, yeah, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate that, man. I'm down with you. I'm down with whatever you do. I've always been behind you. I've always believed in you.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Yeah, man. So, I'll tell you, the first thing I will say, so people understand it, that whatever it is I tell you, it's going to be spot on. The truth is pure. The truth is as pure as the Coke I used to get back in the day, and I'm telling you, it was fucking good. So I will only tell you that everything I'm going to say to you tonight is verbatim. Some people try to derive a sense of identity and importance and hit the rewind button on these wild experiences that they've had. But people, I am kind of in the world but not of it, so these things happen to me. Every man is the sum of his experiences, and regardless of whether we understand these things, they're tangible, we don't get them yet. If they happen and they're real, they become a part of your ideology, of the way that you view the world, your reality,
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen, but most people really, man, are fucking charlatans. They're full of shit. Like I remember one time, I'll give you a perfect example. So back in the day, I'm in the music business. I had a manager. He was a fucking madman, and we met a lot of colorful characters. and one of them claimed to be a psychic. And my manager really bought into that shit. And he was literally, she was out in Vegas. She moved out to Vegas. She was like, I see you guys out in Vegas. That's where Shane is going to have a success. It's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, she was just out there, and she wanted a piece of the dream. She wanted him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, he was ready to fucking fly us out there. And I finally said, listen, man, I want you to look at me when I tell you this. Do you hear how many messages are on your fucking, you know, back in the day when people had fucking, you know, answer machines.
Mm.
Do you hear how many messages are on the fucking machine? The bitch has been calling for 3 fucking days. He's like, right. But that's because she, like, knows what's up and what we need to do. She's got the answers, you fucking imbecile. I was like, you're a fucking imbecile. She's such a psychic. Why don't the bitch call when we're home? And I was like, well, that's a good point. Like, she doesn't know where the fuck we are. So it's like, how can she be a psychic? I'm like, she's not. She's a fucking psycho, doggy. So there are people that are full of shit that pretend that they're in this other realm or whatever. They can see the spirits. These are people that are self-medicating. But I have, in fact, had some real fucking experiences that, I mean, some that were not scary. Like, everybody thinks just because you see a ghost, it's going to be terrifying. I can only tell you that in my experience, sometimes these types of things are really frightening. But sometimes they're not. It depends on, it's like saying every spirit is going to terrify me. Not really. A spirit, I mean, this is just my 2 cents, homies, okay? There's 98 more cents. But a spirit is just the essence of a person, a being, creature, when it leaves the earthly plane, when it leaves its body, you know? So what if the person whose spirit you're encountering was a really sweet, loving, decent person in life? Why would their spirit scare you to death? Right? Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I can tell you, just to start it off, I've had some terrible, insidious, wicked, you know, encounters with evil. I'm not going to say I haven't, man. But I also want people to understand that just because, you know, when you talk about a spirit or something that is not of this world, it may scare you, but it doesn't mean it's trying to. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're a nice guy, Matt, and I'm sure, like, if you left your body and were, like, roaming around the neighborhood on Halloween and kids were screaming, you'd be like, yo, easy. Come back and pick your chocolate up. Yo, yo, yo. Problem. Didn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? So, unless, you know, you have something you want to ask me specifically, I'll just tell you about some of the things that I've experienced, you know. Yeah, I'll just riff, you know, and I'll tell you for starters, but I can tell you this, like, for instance, when you hear a lot of stuff and you think, this is bullshit, this is just people trying to sell media, make you watch TV, or sell them newspapers, sell the Inquirer, until you fucking experience it yourself, and then you're like, wow, this shit is fucking real. There it is. Like, I remember one time, I'll give you a perfect example. I've seen UFOs in my life fucking probably 7 or 8 times. But one time, I saw a UFO so fucking close that I was scared. It wasn't like, wow, that's so cool, let's get my camera out. It was, holy fucking shit, that thing, it's completely still. It's not making a fucking sound. I don't hear anything. I hear the wind. I don't hear anything. If that thing has the technological capability to be here, like that, hovering, this close to me, making no fucking noise whatsoever, then these motherfuckers that said they were abducted are telling the fucking truth. Okay, you're like, wow. I don't want to be one of those motherfucking frauds in biology classes getting hit with a scalpel. I am not feeling it. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
I ran like a bitch. People are like, wow, you really saw that? Like, I'm like, dude, I did not want to go in that shit. I didn't want nothing to do with it, man. I mean, when you see it way up in the air and you're like, no, look at that. Let's film it. Everybody's like, oh, that's so cool. But when you see it like 200 yards away and 100 yards up in the air, and you could see every fucking thing on that ship. You don't think they could see you?
Mm.
Huh. Yeah. So that's what I mean by once these things happen, then you integrate them into your perception of reality, man. Now they're fucking real. You're not trying to weigh in like your boy told you this, and you know he don't lie, so shit got to be real, but maybe he's exaggerated, maybe he imagined it. No, when you see it, and you're not fucking on any kind of mind-altering drug, you're like, okay, this shit is real. You know it ain't from this world. There's no way we have technology like that. No fucking way. Yeah. So once again, now, you guys ready for the real shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, are you changing subject?
Not really, man. No. I could talk about, no, not really, man. I'm staying on the same shit. Unless you want to talk about some music or whatever.
Well, the alien thing, I had a quick question for you. I've heard some people, there's a claim, if you will, that aliens are really just like demons. Have you ever heard that?
Not really. Nah. Not so much.
It's interesting. It's an interesting take on it with how it's just demons and they're like disguising themselves to trick you and to think that it's something else, so you do believe in it, which gives it its power type deal.
Wow, that's an interesting.
Yeah, premise. It's a very interesting. Yeah. We'll do an episode on it in the future. It's a very interesting stuff.
Me personally, like I always say, this is my 2 cents. Yeah. There's 98 more cents, obviously. You know, Matt, I always say the gut never lies.
Yeah.
The intellect will sabotage the gut. The intellect will try to cloud the gut. The intellect will convince you that there's a logical explanation for this, or this person you're in front of really is not a bad person. There's no reason you should judge them. The gut tells you the truth. The gut is your instinct, your survival thing. It's your soul compass. And me personally, man, every time that when I've been in the presence of evil, I fucking know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the eyes in the mirror of the soul. You can look in someone's eyes and you can tell, at least I can tell, 1, if that person has killed, or 2, if that person would kill. You can sense a soul that is more evil than good.
Yeah.
At least I can. I can actually fucking walk by people, not look at them, and feel their fucking energy. Feel what they're thinking. Feel whether it's an open, happy spirit or whether it's a closed, angry, spirit in turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel that shit, But my vessel is open. I really am kind of a shaman. I don't use that word lightly, but I can sit down with someone and I can listen to what's going on in their life. And I can help them reframe. I can help them metaphorically untangle a knot metaphorically pull a splinter from their spirit and give them peace. Not with medication, not with 20 sessions, with going into that dark place with them and feeling and trying to show them the way out of that mental maze of confusion. I can do that. I've done it many times. I don't brag about it. I'm only telling you what others have told me,
Mm-hmm. So
I'm definitely a spiritual creature. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this, and this is kind of heavy, but as Insane Shane McKANE, I'm probably one of the people. I think when I started this redneck rap, this country rap game, I don't think maybe there was one other guy, maybe Bubba Sparks was doing it, but he was doing it like a brother, man. He was grabbing loops.
Yeah, it was more rap than country rap.
And exactly, bro, and rapping over it, in an urban format.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I was not doing that. I mean, we used barely any, sample loops. I mean, we grabbed samples for fun and parody and all that. But on the whole, man, I mean, we were playing the instruments, and I was rapping like a white guy in the fucking, out of the sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Anybody listening want to check out some of Shane's music? It's on YouTube. Um, very high production quality. I remember the first time I heard it, I was blown away by how great it sounds because I was doing a lot of like hip hop shows in the community and stuff at that time up in the city. And you know, Pete, you'd get these CDs from everybody, and they were never really, you know, mastered or sounded too professional. You know what I mean? But that album you gave me, I was like really blown away how professional and great, you know, great it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. And, just to jump back,
Mm-hmm.
both you and I mean, we are, we're artists. We're the real McCoy. We didn't, grow up with, we're not fucking trust fund babies. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We came up the hard way, man. We did blue collar jobs. We were out there. Our art reflects what we've been exposed to. And you and I, man, I mean, when I met you, keeping it real, the truth is pure, man. Like, yeah, I had two businesses. I had my trucking business, man. I was a working man out there doing what I had to do, handle my business. That was moving and grooving. And then I had my record label, which was Cockfight Records. Boom.
Yeah.
And when I met you, man, I pulled in for gas and I was driving a truck. And you were over there. You helped me fill it up. And I was like, yo, I liked your energy. You liked my energy. I was like, yo, man, we'll give you the CD. You were like, all right.
I remember. I remember it was the gas station. I filled up your gas. I remember you got out of the truck and you went into the back of the truck to like move around some furniture or something, and then you hopped up in the cab again, and you were getting ready to pull off, and I was like, hey, your door's open in the back. And then you got out and you went out back and closed the door, and you were like, hey, I got something for you. So I followed you to the car, and I was like, oh, you didn't give me some money. I was excited. I was like, nice. And then I got there, and he gave me the CD, and I later found out that CD was more valuable than money anyways. But, yeah,
Very nice, yeah.
it was I always liked that story.
Yeah, that's fucking great. Well, that's the other thing. This CD, that number one, the first CD was called I Put the Hoe and Hoe Down.
Yeah.
And second CD was Big Swing and Hick. But this time, now it's like, I mean, I get a little cocky here, but, when I started country rap, we'll jump off for a minute. We'll always get back. But when I started it, man, I basically was I was watching an episode of Cops, drinking some fucking beer, smoking some weed, I was like, man, one episode is in the fucking hood, and the other episode, the next segment is in the trailer park.
Yeah.
But these motherfuckers that don't like each other are doing the exact same fucking shit they're getting arrested for. They're stealing, they're selling drugs, they're
fighting, killing.
Fucking fighting, having domestic disputes, restraining orders. It's all the same shit. Like, these people should be partying in the same motherfucking room as far as I was concerned.
Amen, brother.
So I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna take rap, which I guess, I'm gonna call rhythmic American poetry, and I'm gonna use it in another way. I'm gonna use it and make it more accessible to a fucking a mainstream audience. White, blue collar. It's like when Elvis took all this great music out of, the black communities. It was they were on fire, man. They were killing it down there. They were on top. They were cutting edge. And then Elvis took a little of it, brought it to fucking like the Ed Sullivan Show, wherever the fuck he got, and shook his white booty and said, had that sound, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody was like, oh my God, this is great music. I get what Chuck Berry's doing. Oh my God,
Yeah.
So the point is, I decided to take rap, and instead of watching young, white kids that could not identify in any way, shape, or form to what these guys, these African American kids, man, were experiencing in their art and their rap and writing about. I mean, that was legit. This was their life. They were depicting their life in their art. It was intense, it was ferocious, it was great. But all these little white kids, man, were running around like, yo, man, I'm gonna drop my pants a little bit, man. I'm gonna start bringing that brother shit right there. Oh yeah, man, I got it like that. And I was looking at him like, no, you really don't. You're imitating the guys that are authentically living this shit. When they got swagger, when they drop their pants a little bit and walk around the hood like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's real.
Yeah.
When you do it, and then you go back to like the suburbs, You look like a fucking imbecile. I'm just saying, man. So
true.
I decided, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, hip hop is such a mainstream thing that this issue is even a moot point. But back then, the same way that the guys in the black communities, you know, Grandmaster Flash and all these guys, when they were coming up, like they were talking about the origins of the music and what it was like then. And I'm talking about what it was like for me then. So my mission statement was not to imitate a lifestyle and a sound that I had no knowledge of. That's simulation. That's not art.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to adapt it to what I see every day. And I'm going to get out there and I'm going to talk about what's going on where I am, out in the fucking redneck sticks, you know?
Mm.
And that's how, you know, my shit went. But now, I'm just a shock star. Now I've realized that, you know, like guys like Yellow Wolf, man, I mean, they have just cemented this genre to the point where these guys are legitimate redneck rappers. They're great. You know, he's my favorite personally. I think his fucking redneck flows is better than anybody's, you know.
Mm.
It's still got an urban vibe, but it's great. But now I've gone, you know, I'm a shock star. Now I decided, fucking 2019, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't have to try to pretend or make what I do accessible. I told motherfuckers I'm a shock star now. I'm just going to out myself as a Greek Jew.
Yeah.
Tall, dark, and neurotic. Does redneck rap. Called a fucking new CD, Cock-a-Doodle Jew. Boom.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
Have you always been a hip-hop fan? I never asked you that.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I'm here to tell you, because, you know, I'm an older guy, so here's what I can tell you about that.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, walking through, I was living in the city, I had a band, and back then, in all honesty, man, like, white pop music was kind of going away. There was nothing going on. Like, hip-hop was starting to come up. Record companies didn't really know what they wanted to sign anymore. Heavy metal, like hair metal, was going away, and it was kind of in a weird state of flux. And a lot of white guys were running down to Nashville and starting to try to write country music because they didn't know where they fit in anymore. They weren't hip hop. They weren't R&B. Pop, like the Doobie Brothers and all that shit, was gone. It was going away like leaded gas.
Yeah.
So the music industry was in a weird place, a weird state of kind of lost, transitional, searching, you know, a state of fucking flux. I don't even know. But here's the point.
Yeah.
So one day, me and my bass player, man, we were up in Harlem. I don't know what we were doing up there, but we were there. And we were walking up the fucking street, and we saw this dude with a fucking boombox that was as big as a goddamn suitcase. I mean, and he was carrying it. We were like, holy fucking shit. And that thing, the guy was probably, I don't know, 50 yards away from us. And that fucking thing was kicking off so much volume, and it was bouncing off the fucking brownstones in the hood, and it was echoing. And I'll tell you what it was. We didn't know at the time what it was. It was fucking Public Enemy.
Ah.
And dude, we felt it. We stopped dead in our fucking tracks, and we just looked at each other. And my bass player said, he was like, what the fuck is that? And I said to him, I don't know, man, but it's definitely what's coming.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember like the first time you heard like "Walk This Way"? I think it was with Run DMC and Aerosmith mashing up both the rock and rap thing.
I do, but in all honesty, man,
Not
keeping
a
it
fan?
real, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool, but to me, it was, I don't know, man. It was like a forced hybrid of two sounds that didn't jive in the same demographic.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like a natural thing. It seemed like a weird, forced, contrived thing. It sounded like two different artists in two different genres with only one record deal trying to make it work.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real, you
No,
know.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and then I remember that shit when that, you know, like hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. I mean, that shit was just fucking stupid. I always thought it was stupid, man. I mean, I would dance to it because that's what it is.
That was the thing, yeah.
Yeah, I would get out there and shake my booty, and it was fun and all, but it was, you know, in my mind, it was kind of stupid. It was hokey, man. It was African Americans trying to, like, I don't even know, like, accommodate the white man or something. It was just not real. But on the flip side of that, when I heard Public Enemy, that to me, man, those were brothers that didn't give a fuck.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, those guys were like, yo.
Revolution.
Yeah, that was revolution. Those guys were like, listen, this is art right here. This is what we fucking think. We got something to fucking say, and we are spawning this kind of music. This motherfucking sound, this shit got legs, because this shit is real.
Yeah.
And real is something of the spirit. Real is truth. And truth emanates. That's the God force, man.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I knew this wasn't a passing fucking phase or a trend. I knew this shit was here to stay, man. This was the metaphorical foundation for the cry of a people, purely and truthfully, in their art form, reflecting the experiences that they had felt, that they had seen their parents feel. This shit was emanating fucking truth. And it was emanating anger and intensity, and we heard it, and it was bouncing off those fucking tenements, and that shit was just on fire, bro. So yeah, when I heard that, I was a fan of not even hip hop, of fucking rap.
Yeah.
From the motherfucking get-go.
Word. You getting to Rick Rubin too? I know Rick Rubin was very influential with, like, he produced for both Slayer and the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys being a band that had, like, a very punk influence. Some of those earlier albums were, like, half and half.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're totally right, dude, yeah. Well, the Beastie Boys, I gotta say, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because the Beastie Boys are actually one of my influences. I can't really peg influences usually, because it's really a gray area for me.
Yeah.
But I will honestly say, man, the Beastie Boys are definitely one of my fucking influences.
Yeah, I love the Beastie Boys because they got the party music, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to, like, make fun of themselves with, like, the Sabotage video and shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. And I remember hearing, like, you know, no sleep till Brooklyn.
Man, those
like, oh man, I love it.
Those guitar riffs with you know what I mean, with the drums are fucking phenomenal. Yeah.
That, I think, was the beginning of rock rap.
Yeah.
In my mind, those guys started it. But yeah, I love the way they were campy. I love the way each of those guys had a different sonic pitch in their voice, of their delivery. Each guy had their own personality, you know, and they were campy. They were edgy, campy, funky, rude, bawdy, gaudy, in your motherfucking face, but they were fun, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of Rick Rubin, is there any producers that Insane Shane McKaine would like to have, you know, some super producers you would like to have got down with and, you know, do something with? You know, something fun. I could see a nice George Clinton mashup. Wouldn't that be the shit? That'd be cool.
I know guys that know him, man, and yeah, maybe, man. I don't know though. I don't know, because he's got his, like, I know dudes. Do you know the band Coheed and Cambria? Yeah. So one of those guys, the guys that played drums, you know, Josh, who I really haven't seen him in years, but back in the day when he was actually, I don't think he would mind me saying this, because I'm going to just say that he was a big fan of mine. He loved my fucking music, man. And me and him used to hang. He used to roll with me in my limo and everything. And I didn't realize how severe his drug addiction was, you know. He was battling heroin, you know. But the reason I know his dad, who's a really great guy, and all his brothers are real good. But anyway, I think he plays with George Clinton. But Josh, he actually beat heroin, from what I understand. He had a real rough time with it, and I don't know, like I said, I was supposed to be on his record. He put a solo record out called Weird Science. And the guy is an amazing fucking drummer. I'm here to tell you, man. He'll tell you. Yeah. He's as cocky as I am, dog. And he's great. But yeah, I really loved him, man. He was a good dude. He had a good spirit. But I didn't realize how fucked up he was on heroin. And he was like, "Yo, you should be on this record, Weird Science." And I listened to some of the tracks, and they were kind of dark. I should have known right
Well,
then.
there you go, yeah.
But his rap, that motherfucker can rap like hell.
Yeah.
But anyway, I won't take too much time on him because I lost touch with him. I do see his dad every now and then. But he was real irresponsible. He kept promising me, "You're going to be on his fucking record, and, we're going to do it." And then he's like, "Yo, can I roll with you in the limo this weekend?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, all right." And then, like, he'd be a no-show, and then the studio thing wouldn't happen. And then I seen him with a couple of his cronies. And I tuned that bitch ass up.
Yeah.
Oh, I told him, "You're full of fucking shit." He was like, "Shane, you can't talk to me that way." I was like, "Yeah, I just fucking did, bitch. I just did. You and your fucking punk ass friend. You don't talk to me that way. I'm drinking tequila. I'm Insane Shane McKane. Fuck three you bitches."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, but Shane, please calm down." But anyway, the point is, I won't say any more about him, but he played with George Clinton, I think. He was playing with him. And I think George Clinton was also I don't know if his name was I didn't want to ban
I met George. I got to shake his hand. It was one of the coolest moments of my life. But yeah, he was. I remember there was a fun story of him being like the cops catching him, pulling him over in like this like purple Corvette and being like, "Hey, you got anything in the car that we should know about?" And he's like, "I got a little bit of crack," and they pulled out like this big like fucking bag of crack, which was more than a little bit. But keeping the drug theme and the heroin theme, I often say that the suicide of Kurt Cobain was a gigantic jumping off point for hip hop hitting the mainstream. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, Matt, I don't know. I never really thought about it that way. I think that kind of music was just on its way out.
Yeah, the grunge era.
The grunge era, that whole Pearl Jam thing, the Nirvana thing. I don't get me wrong, I loved Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I also loved them as well. Even like the Smashing Pumpkins, believe it or not, even kind of came out of that whole thing. I think I liked them as well. I like Billy Corgan.
Alice in Chains, a lot of people love.
Yeah, Alice in Chains. That was a great sound, but
it was
as I look.
It was a genre that wasn't really built to last. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't, man. It was like I don't know. That whole genre was like a Prozac moment.
Yeah. Like
the kids were just depressed, outcast, a little. It was just the whole genre. I think I would just have to call it self-absorbed soul searching.
Yeah, it molded into emo. It eventually became emo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I remember really digging it, but it just kind of, it was kind of on its way out. That sound was going, and rap was starting to become hip-hop, which I think was more of a, I don't even know, I guess, I don't know what the difference between rap and hip-hop is, but I'm going to say hip-hop is kind of maybe a cross between R&B and rap. It's more accessible and less alienating and hostile than, say, rap was. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. But all of a sudden, man, I knew rap was going to be here to stay when, you tune into like Eyewitness News or whatever, and you'd hear like a little rap, like a little hip hop fucking groove going, or a basketball game would have a hip hop thing, and suddenly it was like, fucking hey, hip hop is, it's just becoming fucking mainstream. Like, it's everywhere. I knew at that point it was just going to take over, and it has. But
oh yeah, it's officially the genre. I mean, that and pop, hip hop, and country are probably the three powerhouse genres.
I'd have to say, I mean, pop, R&B, whatever, R&B pop, which kind of in my mind are almost synonymous.
Yeah.
Country and hip hop or rap, I think that pretty much is it, and everything else is I guess an offshoot of one of those genres, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go into like Christian music and all that shit.
Yeah, right.
But in any case, I don't know. I didn't know much about George Clinton. I know that Josh played with him. As far as producers that I would have wanted to work with, that's a really good question. I know everybody knows Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
And I have to say, man, I would have liked to have worked with a guy like that. because I think he was open enough
Mm-hmm.
and a pioneer enough to do something. Also, would like to have worked with Trent Reznor.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think he and I could have really, taken each other to a whole nother level. And don't get me wrong, man. In future, I don't think that I wouldn't, try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's a guy that, I mean, when he produced what? He didn't even Johnny Cash. Didn't he write
Who,
that?
Trent Reznor? Yeah, he did that Hurt song. Johnny Cash covered it.
Yeah, man, that fucking. I think didn't he produce that record? I don't even know.
Well, that was Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin did those last couple of Johnny Cash albums.
Wow, see, I didn't even know that, but I know when Trent Reznor did this, had the song "Hurt."
Yeah.
Oh man, Johnny. I think that's one of Johnny Cash's greatest fucking songs, and obviously he didn't write it.
Well, yeah, Johnny Cash was that great that he could just he could really he make anything shine really.
Oh god, but when in the video, and
but they're both great songs.
Fucking voice, I hurt myself today, to see if I still feel. Oh god, the needle tears a hole. I was like, Jesus,
yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, that fucking song, what have I become? I was like, oh god, the hair on the back of my throat. Oh,
yeah.
So, but anyway, man, so I guess I got off on a bit of a tangent there with the music, but I'm glad we covered it a little bit. I can tell you if anybody is interested, because I know we're here to do Ghostly mostly. I'm all about it,
Yeah.
But I will tell you that as far as the McCain thing goes, some people want to spell my motherfucking last name like John McCain. But I'm not John McCain. You feel me? I'm Shane McCain. Now I'm going to tell you the difference. John McCain, he's the kind of guy. He's the kind of person, a decent guy that would, run for something.
Yeah.
I'm Shane McCain, okay? I smile with my grilling, just chilling, the face of America's most wanted, the villain. I'm the kind of motherfucker that runs from something. You feel me?
There you go.
So it's MCKANE. Think MC the party with Cain and Abel, a strong alpha male. Mic drop. There you go. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be in the links too. We'll have it in the title so everybody can look into it.
Awesome. Yeah, just tell you guys, the new CD that I put out is I outed myself as a Greek Jew, tall, dark, and neurotic. Called the record Cockadoodle Jew. Okay, is it real or am I faking? I'm the only redneck that doesn't eat bacon. So what's shaking? So that that's a little bit of a taste, But that's not why we're here now, And also, I also want to say that Matt and I are attempting to embark on a collaboration of a reality TV boxing show. But we're not going to get into that because until I can navigate through the bureaucracy and the powers that be, that would be BS bullshit. Until we can get around that shit, you feel me? And get people in the ring, not to hug it out, but to slug it out, it's not going to happen. But I think it is going to happen. We're just going to have to take one step backwards to take a real serious fucking step forwards. On that note, whatever. Now, I want to get back to what we're talking about, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
The shit that scares Wiggers.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to bring the pen. Here it is. First, I'm going to the other room, but I have my hands free in. Multitasking, who's asking? I'm going to pour myself a coffee. Now, I could have poured a beer, but I didn't even want to fucking do it because I wanted people to know I'm not just sitting here exaggerating shit. The truth is pure, and I'm going to have a cup of coffee and tell you exactly what fucking happened, and I'm not going to start drinking till later. Because Insane Shane McKane, there's two things that I'm doing tonight. One is to raise the bar, and the other is to go to the bar. Okay? But at this point, I'm gonna have some coffee. I got my percolator right here. That's a cowboy coffee right there. It's not one of those little 1 cup fucking things, you see at the doctor's office, one of them little cutie Keurig things. Fuck that shit. This is a purelator. You feel me? This is cowboy coffee.
Hell yeah.
That being said, I'm gonna pour one of those, and then I'm gonna tell you the last time that I had an issue where someone, actually a Jamaican woman, attempted to kill me. I know how that fucking sounds, man. But I'm just going to start. Go ahead, Matt. Ask away.
With voodoo? Was this the Did we finish up with the Ireland witch?
Oh, we're going to her. She
Oh,
she
okay,
is the
cool.
magnum opus, homie. She's the last part of my fucking story, and the story is gory. Okay.
Oh shit! All right.
All right, but I will tell you this, man. This was kind of fucked up too, and this is exactly the way it went down. Now I won't get into all the specifics of why it is that this Jamaican woman hated me, but she really did. She got it in her mind that I was to blame for something that in truth, I'm not to blame for. I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a man's man. Like I don't, if someone asks me a question and I'm guilty of something, unless you're the po-po, and I'm going to do some time, man, I will tell you the fucking truth.
Yeah.
But in this situation, man, she didn't realize, man, I was not the person that that was to blame for what happened to her. But in any case, so she was real pissed, and she said, she basically said, I've been to Jamaica, so she was like, man, you don't know who you're messing with, man. Me gonna get you, man. Me know people. Man, me gonna get you. Me gonna get you. Don't even know, man. It's gonna come when you don't even think it's coming, man. And I thought she meant like, she's gonna come. And I was like, oh, please. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Whatever, man. I'm just gonna tell you, man, you ain't in fucking Jamaica no more, bitch. You feel me? You want to come over here, talk machete, don't bring a fucking sword to a gunfight, because I light your bitch ass up. Okay? But I didn't realize what she meant. But I fucking sure did figure it out. Now, back then, I'm not going to say I was broke. That's not how I roll, home. What I say is, I used to say back then, money is no object in my world, because I don't have any. All right? That's how I would say it. So I was real fucking poor, bro. And at that time in my life, like if someone said to me, hey man, here's $10, I would have been like, wow, that's serious. Like that $10 was like a 12-pack of motherfucking beer. Like that, I would remember that,
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is because a week after I had this fucking terrible, threatening conversation with this woman, and it got ugly, I went out to my fucking car in the morning, and I saw a $10 bill stuck right in, like, just a tiny bit in, like, how, like, your ashtray in your car comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was pushed in, and maybe a quarter of the $10 bill was wedged between, the ashtray and where it would close. So it was sticking out, like, 3/4 of the way, folded up so I could see it right next to my ignition. I'm like, where the fuck did this motherfucking thing come from? Holy shit, like, what, I don't even, why is this there? Like, I would never put a $10 bill there. I've never have, why would I? I was like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. I got this $10. I was so happy, I wanted to do the Snoopy dance, bro. I was like, yeah, this is awesome, And those that now I got some real money, but back in the day, man, I was on the street. I was hustling. $10 was $10, dog. So The point is, I never, in a million years, would have just randomly stuck that and left it there. No fucking way, man. So I didn't know where it could have come from. I put it in my wallet, and I don't know, went through the day, not thinking about it, not feeling anything weird. Well, let me jump back. I will have to tell a bit of the story. So I won't get too into it, but it had to do with a woman. This woman was a home health care aide that was taking care of an elderly woman. And the woman who was the patient had one of her friends who was this woman was probably 80. The woman across the street was 60. And I used to see her every now and then, and she was the woman that would come in and, I don't know, make a shopping list up, was the power of attorney, was just helping out the old lady. And the woman who I had an issue with was the Jamaican home healthcare aide. Well, I'm just going to say quickly that the aide, this Jamaican woman, got fired from her job. And somehow in her mind, I don't know, and I'm not going to get into the whole dynamic of it, but she felt that both myself and this woman across the street were to blame for her having lost her job, which it couldn't have been further from the fucking truth. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, you know? So at the end of the day, and you'll see why it is I'm telling you this aspect of it, because I didn't want to get into that, because I've been wordy anyway.
Yeah.
But, so, bottom line is, here we go. So, I'm not thinking much about it. I'm not thinking about the woman either. I mean, you know, I've been, you know, I'm a tough guy. I've been in the clubs. I've been in crazy places. You know, I know people that have killed people. I know, you know, I know mobsters. I know all sorts of people. So, you know, I wasn't like terribly afraid of this woman at all. Like, this was like, yo, you want to threaten me? All right, bitch, you know, bring it. In the meantime, you know, life goes on, honey. So I wasn't really too preoccupied with it at all, you know. But that night, here's what went down. See, well, I'll tell you, it's hard to explain. Now that I understand a little bit about how these things go, the spell apparently was on the money. This has happened to me twice with money. And eventually, I didn't really understand that until later in life. A guy that used to be involved with satanic rituals and all this kind of shit was real into it, who he did a 180 and became a Christian, a born-again Christian, you know. And I remember one time explaining to him what had happened to me. And he listened to the whole story. This was with the Irish witch. This was way back. So I kind of knew what had happened this time. I had more of an understanding of how these things work without having studied it myself, you know. But I can tell you that when this type of thing had happened to me once before at a much younger age, I was explaining exactly what had happened. And this guy was able to understand and fill in blanks that I hadn't even told him. And he kept saying to me, but there's no way that this person, that this force, this demonic thing could have gotten into your dream. They had to give you something. She had to give you something. Otherwise, none of this adds up. And I was like, no, man, no, she didn't give me anything. I mean, give me something. No, she didn't give me shit. Anything. Money? Did she give you money? I was like, oh, fuck. And that's how it happened. So I'm going to tell you guys, you ready? Mm. Sit down for this one, man, because this is exactly how it went down, brother. So that night, I went to sleep, and I ended up in a place, once again, like, it's different from a dream, because when you're dreaming, you think it's real. This was different than a dream, because I was dreaming, but I knew I was dreaming. Mm-hmm. So already it's a I don't know how you make of it what you want, but I can tell you that I found myself down in a dark place. What I think was to me, what seemed like a dark underground subway station. I didn't see any trains, but that's what it felt like to me. And I was surrounded by 3 Jamaican men. One in the middle, I could see was the most powerful. I could tell. They weren't speaking to me. The one on the right and the one on the left were just like, almost like his cohorts, and they were just looking at me. But the guy in the middle, he came to claim something. And I looked down, and I looked at where his belt was, in the rim of his pants, in the rim, in the front. Same place someone would stick a gun or something. And what there was 2 wallets. 2 wallets. One was mine. The other was a female purse. It was red. It was obviously a woman's purse, you know? Mm. Now, because of what I experienced many years before in my life, I had been in a situation that defied reason and logic, but somehow on a visceral, a gut level, without words, in a nonverbal way, I understood what was happening here. That wallet somehow represented me, my life, my soul. And he had it right there in that area. In the, the hips are where it's authoritative. He had it right there, tucked right there. And he was looking at me. And he was saying, I am overpowering you. I'm taking you. That's what was being said to me in this weird way. But I told you, and I'll tell you again, and even now talking about it, I still get a little creeped out, man, a little fucking, but I'm going to tell you straight up, people listening, this is how it went down. I looked at him. I anteed up to his power. He felt it. And I stepped forward right at him in front of those people. And in my own way, without saying a word, I laughed in my spirit, and laughed in his face and shrugged like, there was no words said, shrugged like, yeah, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so, man. This ain't how it goes down, brother. You outgunned. I ain't weak like that. Fuck you and your boys here. It was that vibe without any words being spoken. And I reached right down, reached where that fucking wallet was. He did nothing to try to stop me. It was a psychic power. It was a psychic will thing. I was reaching for it. I took it back. Like, yeah, snatched it right back, put it in my fucking pocket. Like, yeah, that's what's up. Fuck you. But there was no words said. It was all a psychic battle of wills. And I woke up. Now, the next morning, I went back to that woman's house, the old lady's house. And the old lady was crying. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, Marion died last night. So, I won't say fairly certain, I am fucking absolutely sure that the other wallet, purse, in the rim of that man's fucking belt was her.
Wow.
There were two there. She had two enemies. My spirit was too strong, and I overpowered these brothers. And that's the reality of it. How I was able to do that in the spirit world, Matt, I don't know. I don't know. You know, my two favorite phrases in life, one is, I am the architect of my reality. That sounds pretty intense. The second one is, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that in that spiritual realm, I was able to ante up, withstand, and overpower that person's magic, or whatever it was, will, magic, spiritual force. I can't tell you, brother.
It feels like almost like it could tell that you didn't fear it, so it lost its power, type thing almost.
Yeah, pretty much. It was trying to dominate me, trying to exercise its will and its power, his will and his power. The three of them, but mostly this guy in the middle. He was the dude. He was the dude that was exerting the spiritual battle of wills or force, you know, whatever, which is what it felt like. And it was all a psychic thing in a spiritual realm. And that's some heavy shit, because when you're involved in something like that, this is the thing that people don't understand. You cannot cry out for help. You are there. You don't even know what the fuck you are, let alone what they are, where the fuck you are. You just have to trust in whatever it is you are, your spirit, your essence, your soul, your energy, whatever the fuck it is you actually are comprised of. You're alone in this place. And the cavalry ain't coming. And you gotta just, like, you see what you're made of.
Yeah.
There it is. It's like a spiritual cage fight with nobody there to stop it. You die or you don't. You win or you lose. You eat or you're eaten.
Mm.
And that is a feeling that I don't know how to. I think I just did explain it. It is very intense, and when you're in it, you gotta fucking dig deep, and that's when you see what the fuck you're made of. Let's see what kind of power you have. Let's see what you can withstand. And it was a challenge. I'm gonna say, I don't know. I was definitely scared, but I couldn't afford to be that scared.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I had to deal with the fucking issue. And I did. And I woke up the next day and I thought, man, that was crazy. The only thing that made me feel, before I realized that this other woman had just never woke up, man, you know, the only thing that made me feel that perhaps this had something to do with, you know, this Jamaican woman and her threats. Because in a million years, I never would have thought that's what she meant.
Well, right, yeah, you figured that she was coming to get you personally.
Oh, yeah, she's going to send some fucking dudes, you know,
well, she
fucking
did.
beat me down. Yeah, she
just
sure
in the
did.
physical and the spiritual. So they looked normal, though? Like, they look like normal people?
Look like just Rastas. Normal Jamaicans that you would see in Jamaica or you would see in the hood, you know?
If they looked a little less normal, you think you would have had more of a problem with it, probably, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, I would have. I know that. What do you think?
It depends.
Yeah, it'd be a little harder. It'd be harder to, you know, balls up.
Well, I'm here to tell you. I mean, you asking me a question. I'm telling you that this is exact. I think about it, but
yeah,
yeah, you're right. Like if they had like, I don't know, fiery, devilish eyes, red beaming things, and they were making all these like noises and shit like you see in a horror movie. Yeah. I definitely would have been more scared. There's no doubt. But I'm telling you straight, when you're in that kind of a situation, it's like, how can I explain it? Does a caribou, does it, you know, know? Is it born knowing intellectually that a lion is its enemy? No, I mean, no. It's like it doesn't know it intellectually. It knows it on a gut level.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it, you know, really make you understand that I knew that this was a threat to me. It was my instinct. It was a God-given knowledge that you just know. Like in this realm, without being able to explain it, intellectualize it, I knew what was going on and what I had to do. And that's what's weird, you know. So I'm here to tell you, even if these things had looked scary, I still knew I was cornered and I would have had to fight. And I'm here to tell you, bro, no matter what this motherfucker looked like, if I had to punch him in his sharp fangy teeth, man, I would have.
Right.
You know, I would have done what I had to do. I would have tore his fucking devil eye out. I would have bit him in his gnarly face, even though I wouldn't have wanted to. But I would have.
Spit it out.
Fought.
Yeah.
I would have. I would have fought and did what I had to fucking do, regardless of what was coming at me. Because, bro, I didn't have a choice, and I knew it. How did I know it? I don't know, but I knew. And the proof, next day, was literally when I went over to this old woman's house. Her name was Dorothy, and she told me that Marion had died in her sleep last night. No, and I was like, did she have any problems? Was she sick? No, she was fine. It was so sudden, we don't even know what happened. She just died. And then she went on this whole thing. I should be the one that's dying. I'm the one. Oh, God. She's 20 years young. I don't understand. How could she be gone? Well, I'm here to tell you, man, I knew right there, because of what I told you, man, when I looked in that guy's in the rim of his fucking pants and I saw 2 wallets there. And then suddenly the whole thing, it was weird. Like, the money in the wallet is a contemporary symbol for me, my license, everything's in my wallet. It was this weird symbol. But the point is, this $10 appeared out of nowhere. I put it in my wallet, and then sure enough, that night, my wallet is in the rim of this fucking whatever the fuck he was, some kind of a witch doctor or a fucking shaman or I don't even know. But whatever he did worked. It just wasn't powerful enough not to kill me. Whatever happened to Marion, bro? Oh God, I don't know, man.
Have you ever tried to even dive into the thoughts of what you think might have happened in her situation?
I tell you what I think, and it's horrible, man. But I think he overpowered her, and he, I don't know, like indentured her soul or something. Like he
Consumed
overpowered her soul in some way and controls it, or I don't know, but something. You know what, Matt? You know, life is mostly common sense.
Yeah.
When you know, it's like the psychic food chain. Like in the world, like animals overpower each other and dominate each other and use each other and eat each other. What would make you think it wasn't so in that plane? You know, whatever he did was the same thing that a stronger animal does to a weaker animal on this plane. I can't tell you how it works over there, but I can tell you that he tried to dominate me, to take me, to kill me, to control me, to claim me, overpower me, and it didn't work. I'm a strong spirit, knock on wood. I don't know. I just am, you know, because I'm still here to talk about it, you know.
Do you think something like that would go further than just death? Do you think it would just be them dying and then their soul would go wherever? Do you think it is actually a captive thing where you die and now your soul is held by whoever?
I think that's son of a bitch. You want my opinion?
Yeah.
I have to practice what I preach. My intellect says no. My fucking gut says in some way, either he used her soul for something, controls her soul for something, contained her soul or captivated or dominated. Whatever he did, he took possession of it.
Yikes.
But I don't get the feeling that that's the kind of thing you get out of. Do you know what I mean? It's
right. Yeah.
You know, once the fly is on the fly paper, I don't think that the glue just disintegrates and one day you fly off. I don't think that's how it works, bro. But you ask me what I feel, and you know, inherently, intuitively, that's what I feel. And I was very lucky. And you know, every person is the sum of their experiences, and that's what it meant to me. That's what I learned from it. But I will tell you, the last fucking story, the real killer, was when I was young. I was probably 18 years old. And I was home from college for the summer. So I had one incident where I kind of understood this. I was a baby, man. I was a fucking child, dude. I didn't know anything about this shit, you know? But here's what I can tell you. So this would be the magnum opus of the story. You know, this is the big one, you know? So I'm 18. I'm home for the summer. I got a job working at a liquor store locally, you know, and doing whatever you do, stocking shelves, putting things out. But I also was the delivery boy. And I would go to people in the community and I'd fucking bring them liquor. And it was sad because most of them were fucking diehard alcoholics that couldn't drive. Yeah, secret people that just wanted that shit brought to them every day. It was sad, you know. I saw some lives, and you know, on the way down, you know. And there was this one lady. She probably, I'm going to say she was in her 70s, maybe. You know, she lived in a house that was a renovated barn stable, and it had a fucking vibe in it. I don't know what she did for a living, bro. I have no idea. But she definitely was a big drinker. She had a really weird, I don't know, man. It gave me like a very weird vibe about her, bro. Nothing I'd ever experienced. Like almost a seething, sick vibe. And she loved me, man.
Yeah.
She was like just wanted a piece of the dream. There's no easy way to say it, you know?
Yeah.
I was a young buck, and she was down to fuck, man. And it was like... It was disgusting. I mean, so she would, you know, ask me to deliver shit, and I'd go there. She'd invite me in. I didn't have time to be doing that shit, but, you know, I didn't want to be fucking rude either. And, you know, she really wanted me to come in. Let me just show you the house, you know? So she shows me, she brings me, you know, around. It's definitely got a weird vibe. First thing she shows me is this piano that, I mean, I've never seen a piano that fucking old. It was shaped like a bone. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this thing's got to be 300 fucking years. I don't even know. And I played the piano a little bit, so I was intrigued. Then she brings me to it, you know, through the house. It's wide open the way a stable would be, you know, but it was real cool. I won't say it wasn't.
Yeah.
Then she shows me this other place. Now she's got like a little room. It's like a little theater with a little stage, and all these chairs set up, probably about, I don't know, 25, 30 chairs set up and looking at this little stage in the middle of the house, like this platform. Who has that? What the fuck? Then she says, oh, I want to show you the basement. I'm looking down the basement. Dog, there's no windows down there. It's dark. But I could see a little, almost like someone had a red light on or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, man, this is nowhere I want to be, man.
Yeah.
Come on down. Dude, I got the worst feeling going down them steps. I get downstairs. I see a big huge carved bar with all these weird carvings in it, and it's got red lights, just red lights. That's it. And all these jars of different things. I don't know what the fuck they are, dude. But I definitely had never seen anything like it, and to this day, never have, man. You know, it was creepy. Yeah. It was weird. I did not want to be down there. I couldn't wait to get out of that fucking basement. She says, let me show you the upstairs. I'm like, I really got to get back. Oh, come on, just let me show you the upstairs. Shows me the bedroom. She goes, so, what do you want to do? Well, at that point, I guess I blurted it out because I was just so uncomfortable and so traumatized. And she must have saw it on my face. She was like, so, what do you want to do? And she's standing right in front of the bed. I said, I want to get out of here and get back to the shop.
Yeah.
And she just looked so upset. And I got out of there quick. She was so angry, staring at me as I'm leaving. Like, she was just fucking really, really angry. Hell hath no fear like a woman, whatever, like a woman's scorn.
Yeah.
Fury, yeah. Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. I was like, what the fuck just happened? That was so fucking creepy. What the fuck? That old lady wanted me to get in that bed with her. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? That shit will never happen. I'm sorry. I ain't no gigolo. I ain't no wiggler. No fucking way. But if I wanted to bang him, man, my shit would have been lip linguine, not spaghetti out that. I was like, no, fucking no. I get back to the shop. I had the heebie-jeebies from the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Half an hour later, whatever the fuck it was, I'm downstairs, unloading fucking boxes, bringing up all this booze, putting it on a shelf. The fucking boss says, hey, Mrs. whatever her name is here. She wants to give you something. I go upstairs. There she is. She's got $1 in her hand, and she's holding it out. She's looking at me like it made no sense to me because she's got this $1. She goes, I forgot to tip you. But she's saying it like what she really wants to do is put a bullet in my fucking head. Like, well, I'm thinking, what? This woman does not look like she drove all the way back here to give me $1. Like, what? She still looks really angry. Like, I don't understand. She goes, take it. I was like, I did not want to take that money. I didn't understand. Why would a person that obviously was really, really pissed at me, radiating hatred, why would they want me to why would they drive back here to give me $1 when they look like they want to fucking kill me? I'm like, no, really, man, it's so unnecessary. Take the money. Take it. I was like, oh. Now the boss is looking like, just take the money. Take the money. I was like, all right, thank you. I take the dollar. I put it in my pocket. She smiles, turns around, and walks away. I was like, wow, that was fucking chicken clucking cuckoo. What the fuck just happened here, man? I described it. I'm fucking 18 years old. I do not understand anything that just went down. This woman lives 10 minutes away. Why would you drive all the way back when you hated me when I left and you hate me now to give me $1? Like, what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah.
She gave me the money. So here's the deal. This here was by far the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me, man. And I'm going to share it right now. I slept, at that point I was home from college, and I wanted a little privacy, you know. I'd have chicks over once in a while here and there. So I went in the basement. I would sleep in the basement. I'd made a bed up for myself down there. It wasn't a scary place, but it was just separate, you know. It was definitely downstairs. The family was on the 3rd floor, you know, the top floor. I was down in the basement, so I had some privacy. So I'm sleeping down in the basement, not thinking anything about it. Put all that shit out of my mind, like, whatever, I got $1, life goes on. Fucking crazy bitch, you know? Not scared. Once again, not thinking about it. I go to sleep, and suddenly, I'm in this weird, reddish, circular, I don't know, space. But I know I'm asleep, but I know that I'm sleeping. I'm awake, but I'm asleep. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Where the fuck am I? And I'm looking around, and I feel something bad. Something bad is going on here. What is this state of consciousness? And all of a sudden, man, I feel something go through my fucking chest. Wham! Right through my fucking chest. I turn around, and I see this woman's fucking angry, fiery, hateful, murderous fucking face. And I see this steel, like, needle, like something like a needle, but it had like a color on the end of the needle. What color it was, I don't remember. Wham! Right through me. I was like, oh my God! It was painful. It was horrible. I fucking woke up. I was like, wow, I have pain in my chest. I'm awake. I have pain in my chest. My fucking heart is beating. I am scared. I do not understand what the fuck just happened. What the fuck was that? I'm like, wow. I go in the bathroom. I throw some cold water on my face. I stay up for 10 minutes. I take some deep breaths. I'm like, wow, that was, I guess we're just going to call it a really fucking weird bad dream. I'm awake. I'm going to try to relax. I'm going to try to go back to sleep. Okay. I finally get back to sleep. Homeboy, I am right back in that goddamn room. This time, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I'm looking around. I'm like, where's this fucking woman? What the fuck is going on here? Where the fuck am I, man? And what is happening? How can I have this dream again? And all of a sudden, man, I feel it. She caught me from the other side. Wham! Right through my fucking chest from the other side this time, bro. And I turn around and I see her there again, man. But this time the needle has a different color on the end of it. I'm like, holy shit. I wake up now at this point, and I'm going to come right back to what I said before, man. Now I know, for no good reason, how can I know this? But I know that if I go to sleep, I'm probably going to be right in that same place. Why? I don't know, man. But I know that I'm going to be in this same place. And I also know something else. Why I know it, I can't tell you. But I know that if she hits me with one more needle, dog, I will not wake up. Now, you gotta realize, I'm 18 fucking years old. I don't understand anything like this. I've never been through anything even remotely like this, man. But I am so convinced of what it is that I'm experiencing and know what the outcome will be. And know, once again, Matt, there's nowhere to run. I can't call for my parents. I can't talk to a priest. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I don't understand this. I'm scared to death. And I know if she hits me with one more needle, it's over, man. I know this. I'm so fucking convinced of it. This time I stay up for half an hour and I write down on a piece of paper everything that happened. Who this woman is, what happened today, what happened in the 2 prior dreams or trance states that I've experienced, and that right now I have to go back to see. I have no choice. I have to go back and deal with this. There's nowhere to run, man. I gotta go back alone. And I said, so understand, if you find this note tomorrow and I'm dead, whether you understand it or not, this is what happened. Yeah. 18 fucking years old, homeboy. Dealing with this shit. Now this time I went back, and this was a defining moment for me, man, because this time I went back, and I'm going to tell you exactly the same thing I told you with the last situation. Your essence, your spirit, your soul, whatever it is you are, your configuration of unique energy, I don't know, bro. Wherever I was, whatever I was alone, and I was back in that same godless fucking place. Just like I knew I would be, man. But this time, brother, I said, all right, man, I don't understand what's happening. Why, but I'm going to tell you this. What I do know on a gut level, for some weird reason, is this woman is going to kill me. She's trying to kill me. And if she hits me with that last needle, because there's only going to be one, I'm done. I'm done, bro. So this time, I said, okay, man, wherever I am, whatever's going on, let's get it on. Let's do this thing, man. Let's do this thing. So this time, I get into like this crazy flow. I mean, I'm going to just tell you, this experience, I think, was one of the things. No, I know it was a pivotal thing in my life that made me realize that I'm different than most people, I think. I don't know exactly how, but I have some kind of, strong power, man. Some kind of like serious chi, CHI, whatever. Because I got into that realm. And this time, bro, I was smooth like a fucking cat. Like a martial artist, moving in every direction. Moving my hands like I knew what I was doing. So anything that came through, I could grab. Moving, turning like a cat, eyeing every direction in a way like I couldn't miss anything. Whatever you were going to bring, man, I was going to see it this time. Covering all fucking angles, moving hands fluidly around like a martial artist doing some Tai Chi kind of shit. Covering everything, balanced, equilibrium, moving the arms in every way. Eyes moving, covering all the terrain. And then I saw it out of the corner of my motherfucking eye, man. I saw that fucking bitch coming in for the fucking kill, man. But this time I jumped back, man. And she missed me with that fucking needle. And I grabbed that fucking needle. And she had the needle, and I had the needle. Then I looked in her fucking hateful eyes, and she looked in my fucking eyes. And I turned that motherfucking needle around, bitch. And as I started driving it home at her, she looked fucking horrified, terrified, But I was like, I'm going to drive it. I'm going to shish kebab this fucking cut. And boom, I hit her. But right before it hit her, I woke up. Right before I hit her, I woke up. Yeah. I never had that dream again, homeboy. Now, that was a long time ago. I never really understood what happened. I didn't understand anything about it. Till I got to college. And the girl I was dating was roommates with a girl who was a Christian, you know, born-again Christian. And her boyfriend was the one that had been very involved in satanic shit and studied it. And I don't really know the degree of what he did. But he was well-versed in a lot of the rituals and things that these people do. That's all I can tell you. And I remember watching them doing their prayer meeting or whatever it is, you know. I don't know what made me approach him after the meeting, but I said, I remember his name was Steven. I said, hey, Steven, can I just, I had a really weird thing happen to me, man, about 2 years ago, you know? And I've never told anybody, man, but I'd like to share it with you, you know? And I started describing what had happened to me, and he was not in the least bit surprised. He said, yeah, that's a witch has a red room. That's what they use. That's a real witch. That's a real witch from Ireland, man. She is the real deal. And what she was trying to do was to try to kill you. And everything you felt was right on point. And he was filling in blanks that, like, I hadn't even told him, you know? He said, but the thing is, in order for her to come into your dream that way, she had to give you something. You know? And I forgot. I wasn't even thinking about the money like that. I don't understand these things. How would I ever, you know, make a correlation between the money and the fucking the state I was in that night? There's no way I would have ever put the two together, you know, not as a kid. And I kept saying to him, no, dude, no, she didn't give me anything. No, I was at her house. She never gave me anything. No, definitely not. He said, no, I'm telling you, search yourself. That's the only thing that's missing. I said, no, dude, it's. He said, anything? What about money? Did she give you money? And then it hit me. I said, yeah. She actually drove. I told him what happened. She drove back to the fucking liquor store, and she came in, and she looked like she wanted to kill me, man, but she wanted me to take this stupid dollar bill. He goes, that's because she did want to kill you. And that dollar bill is where the spell was. She gave you that dollar bill, and she was able to infiltrate your dream that night. That's how she did it, bro. Yeah. So, I can only tell you these are the things that I've experienced. There are some people that would get a lot of mileage out of that shit, you know, because it's such an, you know, incredible, outlandish, you know, thing. I don't talk about it. I don't need to. I only can tell you that I never in a million years would have believed that something like that was real, except for the fact that it fucking happened to me. And it's happened on that level twice in my life. I've encountered that kind of, whatever you want to call it, black magic, voodoo, I don't really know. Spiritual warfare. I've never delved into it. I've never researched it. I've never studied it. I don't give a fuck. It's like, there's two kinds of people. There's the guy that had a fight and is a tough guy and won. Or there's a guy that had a fight, is a tough guy and won, and decides he wants to learn everything about fighting. I'm not that guy. I don't care about this shit. I don't want to know about black magic. I'm not interested in it. I don't, you know, I've never hit the rewind button and explained the story much. You know, I've told it a few times over the years, but not much. And I never delved into it to try to read about it or study about it or find out more about it, because I don't care. It happened. I'm done with it. I don't give a fuck, you know. I lived through it. I guess I'm a strong spirit in the world. I feel I am. But these are the things that happened to me. And for your show, Mostly Ghostly, you're my homie. I hit the rewind button on it, and I told you the story the way it needed to be told.
We
And
appreciate it. I love it.
yeah, so that's a killer story. So cut it up any way you want, but at the end of the day, that's what went down, brother.
Which is
You know?
love? Which is love, Shane McCain?
Well, it's more than that. Witches love me and bitches love me. You feel me?
Witches, bitches, and hoes.
And I can control all of them, obviously. That's right. I'm here to tell you, my pimp hand, no, fuck that, man. My chimp hand is strong. I'm monkeying around, dog. I'm keeping it real. I get shit jumping. Boom. But yeah, that shit was pretty fucking scary. When it really happened,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I'm here to tell you that was, I want to say it was a nightmare, but it wasn't, because I wasn't asleep. I was in this other weird trance thing where you're sleeping, so you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude, it's just, I keep knocking on wood when I talk this shit, because every now and then when I think about it, I'm afraid that I'm going to conjure it up again, and, it's just so bad, it's like, imagine being cornered in an alley
Mm-hmm.
by three guys with switchblades or something, man, and you live through it.
Mm.
Like you poke a brother and, you out. And then, you don't want to think about it anymore. Like you don't ever want to, you don't even want to bring that up again. Like it happened. I had to deal with it. God, thank God I was able to for whatever reason. But yeah, dude, there's more to this fucking world than people want to acknowledge. And I said the same thing. Every person is the sum of their experiences. And this is the shit that happened to me, man. And there you have it.
Yeah. And
Boom.
that was it. Never again. After you faced the fear kind of, and you overcome them. That was it. Never really anything else with it.
No, the only times that I've ever had weird experiences like that where I felt that someone actually had hexed me or put a spell, I was trying to do something from, a different plane or realm, was those two experiences.
Yeah.
And thank God, the one thing I can say, the common denominator between the two, even though they were very different in their approach, was that I was able to hold my own and overpower the spell,
Yeah, I think that's like great advice for anybody listening. I mean, if you ever find yourself in a situation, know that your inner being, you have power within you, and the light within a living soul would be stronger than something that isn't quite living or often. Just don't be afraid. Face it, and I think they feed off of fear. You know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah, they
that may be.
absolutely do. That's another thing, man. You want to always, when you're in a situation like that, and I can honestly say, and this is very serious, man, that understand that when an evil power like that, there's two ways it can overcome you. One is, it literally can dominate you and overpower you because it's stronger than you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. The other way it can overpower you, and I'm going to use an analogy so people get it, is like those like in the Matrix when who was the name of the robot always? It was the same name. Do you remember what it was or no?
In the Matrix.
Yeah,
like the brain computer thing.
Not the brain, the guy, like Mr. So and So. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? Like, the guy with the sunglasses that was always,
the agent something. Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm saying it this way is because the other way they can do it is to kind of just, with their negative energy, just take you and absorb you in the energy.
Yeah.
So there's only two ways you can fight off that kind of stuff. One is to be strong. Here it is. I'm going to give you the keys to the cage. If you ever have to embark on spiritual war alone, as a spiritual warrior, this is what you need to do. One is you need to derive strength from whatever your positive higher power is. Whatever your God of light is, your belief. I don't care what it is. Buddha, Allah, Jesus, Jehovah, I don't care. Whatever your your wellspring of light and love and positive, righteous power is. You got to align yourself with that and say, I am on defense. I am not on offense. I will not become the hate that tries to hate me. I will stay righteous as a warrior of love. I will not hate that which is what tries to kill me, but I will harness all my strength and I will do battle with it. I will not let it defeat me. I will not hate it. I will not fight hate with hate, because then I have lost in a weird, insidious, devilish way.
Yeah.
If the devil comes to you with hate and you hate back to try to beat him, he's won.
Right.
He beats you on the back end. So you have to align yourself with whatever your spiritual light is, and that is what will keep you calm. That is what will keep you strong. And then you got to dig deep, motherfucker. And you got to listen to your gut and learn the rules of engagement, which are breathed into your spirit. You already know them when you get in it. The same way when you're popped out of your mother's vagina and someone smacks you in the ass, you know you have to breathe. You don't know why, but you know you have to. Same rules apply in the spiritual world. When you're a warrior, once you get there, you may never have been there. You may be in an unfamiliar place, but your spirit knows the rules of engagement. So just open your vessel, align yourself with the light. Do not hate that which is trying to hate you, but make damn fucking sure you bring your motherfucking A game. And your will cannot be turned. You will not be the victim. You will not succumb to fear. And you will fucking kick ass. That's it.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's it. So that is my mostly ghostly, gory story.
I love it.
So do I. Well, I hope that it didn't scare you all too much, but I have to say, rewinding it and telling it the way I did, it kind of fucking scared me a little.
Yeah, it's some creepy stuff. I was very quiet in suspense over here. It was, yeah. It's some stuff, yeah, shit.
Well, that's why when you were like telling me about your story, about your podcast and all, and you were like, "Oh, do you have any?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've never really talked to you about it, but I do have some skeletons in my closet." Yeah, actually. But I think it's cool, man. I'm glad I was able to share that with people, but most importantly, I'm glad what I said at the end is, was so relevant, because I've had weird experiences like that, and if you are ever in a situation like that, what I said at the end, if you ever have to be a spiritual warrior in a place where you are alone with only yourself and your faith, that's how it goes down. That's how it is.
Yes.
So get with the program and don't be a victim. Don't be a bitch. If you got a problem, kill that witch. There you go, man. Boom. I love it. You know what I always say to people? I'm a wordsmith. God gave me a gift. Yeah, I'm the shit. Y'all want a sniff? So kiss my ass and polish the turd. Stick my dick in your ear and fuck what you heard. There you go.
I love it. Some very valuable lessons from Insane Shane McKane on the paranormal front.
Boom. On the paranormal front, I'm a turdsmith, and I just told you what the shit was. Boom. It happened to me, and it was the scariest shit I ever experienced, man. And I don't wish it on well, actually, there's one guy I would wish it on. But other than that, I don't wish it on anybody, man. I don't hope that none of you ever have to experience going into the spiritual gladiator arena by yourself, man. Because I'm here to tell you, that's when you really find out what you got, man, what you're made of, man, and who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
It's intense. And I have to say, man, it was more than a game changer, man. It was a life changer. It made me realize, like I said, I was stronger, I think, in a weird metaphysical or spiritual way than many others are. And it surprised me, honestly. I didn't know I had it like that, you know. But that was it. It was some Highlander shit. You know, there can only be one.
That's true.
And it was either them or me. You know, it was either me or them three Jamaicans. And I'm here to tell you, man, I was like, fuck that blood clot, man. It ain't gonna be me, man. They will hit you with that red strap and cut you with that machete.
I wonder if in a spiritual world, if them like being overpowered by you reflected in a negative way in their existence. You know what I mean?
My honest opinion is I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, you're asking me, and once again, why am I answering you with this? It's the same thing I said before.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know how it is.
Yeah.
With no good reason in this plane for knowing why you say what you do. It's pretty odd, man.
Yeah.
But I think my honest opinion is those people, I don't know about the other two guys. Like, they were almost like his, I don't know, like his, I can't even describe it. Like,
you think they were definitely down with him? Maybe they were people that he...
Oh, no, they were down with him. They were with him. Yeah. They were there for the same reason, man.
You don't think they could have maybe been some souls that he captured in the past or something?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No. I mean, I'm only once again reiterating that. Yeah. See, Matt, when you're in that kind of situation, you just know what's up.
Right.
You don't know why you know, but you know. And there's no talking. There's no language like that. It's all a psychic force of communication.
It's no longer in the physical, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's no words there. You're communicating with these people, and they're hearing your thoughts, and you're hearing their thoughts. It's a spiritual exchange. There's no words. Words are weird. Like there'll be no words in a place like that.
Yeah.
Everything's communicated through
thought.
Like a river of, like a flow of just a river of communication. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
Everybody's very clear on what everybody else is thinking and communicating, but not saying.
Sounds like very high conscience stuff that they talk about.
That's exactly right. You know, what did I know? I knew that they were with him. I didn't understand what their power was, but I guess they were also part of this evil thing.
Mm.
My honest feeling was this guy was some kind of a guy that was practicing black magic, you know, the magic of the arts, that kind of, that island voodoo that, you know, I think he was someone that lived here.
Mm.
This is what I believe. This is what I felt. I felt he was someone that was a real man that lived within 50 miles of where I lived, that she actually went to and was able to convey who I was or and somehow he was able to harness, you know. I can tell you this. I'm going to tell you something, and I won't get on too much of a tangent, but
yeah.
A lot of what I feel goes on in this plane is symbolic for what goes on in the other plane. Like, people say, well, you have a spirit. Your spirit is unique to you. And I look at it, and to me, as a guy that kind of is a little bit more metaphysical in the world, but not quite of it, like, I look at it, and to me, it makes total sense. Everybody has a unique configuration of vibrational energy. You know what I call that? I call it your psychic fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has it. Like, your fingerprint is different from every other fucking person on planet Earth. That's amazing. So your spirit, your soul, your configuration of energy is also as unique as your fingerprint. And I just wanted to say that. So whoever they were, what I felt, they were real people. They were able to somehow, he was able to hone in on my psychic fingerprint, put a thing on, you know, something on that dollar, get it to me and infiltrate my dream in some kind of way like that, man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I think it goes down. Now I'll say something else. So I'm gonna leave your listeners with one more thing they can practice.
Okay.
And this will fuck with your mind. Once again, I say to you people, this shit is not that outlandish when you realize I'm gonna reframe it with you so you see it in a more tangible, normal light. I'm gonna ask all of you out there listening, when's the last time, has this ever happened to you, that suddenly you're thinking about someone you haven't seen in a while? Maybe someone, you used to work with, or someone you went to school with, but somebody that you kind of, it's been a minute, and you start thinking about them, and then all of a sudden, like back in the day, like you'd get a phone call from them, or they'd hit you on Facebook. Hey, I was thinking about you, man. I don't know, you popped into my head. That is you on that other plane. It's like in this plane, you're 100 miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
But in that other plane, you're not. You're as close as you want to be. You're right where the wormhole is. You're anywhere you want to be.
Yeah.
When you are focusing on someone else, like if you've been in a room with someone and you partied with them, or you've shaken hands with them, or given them a pound or a hug, you now have an imprint of their psychic essence, their psychic fingerprint. It's embedded in you. You understand their psychic cell phone number, that unique number that only they have. It's in you. Your spirit's registered it. And if you want, same thing. You start thinking about someone real intensely, and then you get a call. I was just thinking about you.
Mm.
That's how it works. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you can really attune your psychic sense, which I can, and you can literally practice a little bit and focus on conjuring up a person's energy to the point where you would think they were in the room with you. That's when you know you've dialed them up. That's when you know you've got a good link with them. Now I'm here to tell you, you know when you can do that? You can do that to someone while they're sleeping.
Mm.
While they're sleeping. Did you hear that?
Mm.
If you wake up in the middle of the night and you're good at it, and you practice it a little bit, and you can put yourself in a very relaxed, very like almost a meditative state, not quite, and you can just allow your spirit to remember, like maybe remember when they told you something personal, or remember when you had a really good time and you gave them a hug. Remember a time when something happened, something profound, where your spirits were close. That's a good internet connection right there.
Mm.
And if you can do that, and you if you get good at it, you will feel when their energy is touching your energy. And at that moment, you can go into their fucking dream. I have done it more than once. That's why I say, the last thing I'll say to your listeners is, a lot of life is common sense. If you can think of somebody really intensely and then suddenly they give you a phone call, they felt they felt your vibe, they felt your life energy reach out to their life energy. Well, if you can do that during the day, you can do that at night.
Mm.
That's what people don't realize. Life is mostly common sense. You might think that's so crazy, but when I explain it the way I just did, it's fucking doable. If I want to go into someone's dream, the first thing I do, man, is I spend a little time with them. I feel their essence. Then I shake their fucking hand. And I'm registering their psychic imprint. I'm taking it all in. And then if I get it right, I'll get into your dream. Now that's some trippy shit.
Yeah.
So that will blow a motherfucker's mind. Vomit Shaman has spoken. Craig
Nice.
drop. Cock-a-doodle-doo, baby. So that's all I got, man. That's it. I've told you that I am a trippy mofo. Insane Shane McKANE, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. So that's it. I am happy to have been a guest on Mostly Ghostly. It's all there.
Well, we're
And
more.
I have conveyed some shit that is over the fucking top. But here's the kicker. Like I told you at the beginning, the truth is pure. What is it that affects people when they hear people talking about something and they just realize this shit really happened? This guy's not fronting. He's not trying to sell me on something. He's not trying to scare me. He's just laying it down like it went down.
Yeah.
I have no vested interest in convincing you of anything. All I've done, and this is what I will say in honor of your show, Mostly Ghostly, is sharing is scaring. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I hope you get that in there. You better sample that a few times.
Yeah.
Boom. That's a good one. Sharing is scaring. I love it. Oh, fucking ISM, baby. Mic drop.
Yeah.
That's what I say. What do I do, man? I shoot for the top, see where I stop, and let the mic drop. Thud! Where's that midget to pick that shit up? I'm not bending down. My back hurts. So there it is, homie. So, I've delivered my A game. And now I'm going to look at my fucking thing here and see what time it is. Because the next thing I'm going to do is go to the bar and spread some of my magical herbal concoction called marijuana. There you go. There you have it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Right on. It's going to happen. You know what they say here? They say here, my God is a ghoul named Kermit the Frog. And he told me, Shane, it's not easy being green. That's right. That's right. Buy local, go green if you know what I mean. Boom. So, yeah, I will be heading to Kingston to do God's bidding, you know?
There
Get
it is.
people to blaze a trail of glory. Hallelujah.
Well, I thank you again for being on the show. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of really valuable info and great stories. One of my favorite episodes to date.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And, yeah, y'all be safe. And, you know, like I said, don't take any drugs when you listen to this shit because you'll end up in the fucking psych ward.
It'll fuck you up, yeah.
Oh, it will. Believe me, don't open them doors. If you light the fuse, you will hear the news. Yep. So that's it, homie. So, all right, man. Well, God bless. You know what I always say? Peace on the
Peace.
side, baby. Peace on the side. Boom.
Hell
And
yeah.
also I want to thank Jesus Christ. Keep it real. I don't know what y'all thank him for. I'll tell you
He's a
what
good
I'm
man.
thank
Good
him for.
man. Yeah.
Well, I thank Jesus Christ for showing me how good a Jewish man can look with long brown hair. Thank you. Hallelujah. That's it, baby. All right, man. Insane out, and God bless everybody, and that's it. You hear me?
I hear you. All right. We'll catch you guys later on another episode of Mostly Ghostly.
That's it. We'll catch you on the flip. Don't you flip out. Peace.
Peace.
Later.